You're recording.
All right. Okay. So thank you for volunteering, Jeff. I appreciate it. Thanks. So the thing we're gonna is the mic's on. Too?
Mic's on,
Okay.
mic's green.
Great.
Yeah.
So the first information we want to get is regarding your strengths and what you do under stress.
Okay.
And so this information will help us in the preparation phase for you, and we'll see what you're really good at doing and also what's less developed for you. And the information will be useful as we continue the EMDR treatment process. And so as you answer the following question, there's no need to read into them too much, just whatever comes to mind first is fine.
Okay.
And sometimes it's helpful to just kind of think about at your worst, you know, as you think about the stressor, like sometimes it's with at home, if you're thinking, well, it's kind of different at work or home or whatever, that's what we're looking for. So it's like what happens, your response or your automatic strength that comes up to try to help.
Okay.
All right. So what are you most proud of?
That I graduated from college.
Great. And what is difficult for you?
Well, I like to think I'm pretty good at most things, but most difficult, I think sometimes is dealing with someone who is highly angry.
And what do you do when under stress?
My heart pounds, I fidget, and if it goes beyond that, sometimes I have inability to think straight.
Okay. How do you handle extreme pressure?
Kind of depends on what the extreme pressure is. Sometimes the things that I just mentioned will come up. Other times I'm able to remain pretty calm, think through it, work through it, and work pretty well under it.
Okay. How are you with deadlines?
Pretty decent. I don't like to miss them.
Okay. How do you get your way?
Oh, that's an interesting question because I don't always get my way. Sometimes I will ask for it. Sometimes I'll try to negotiate for it.
Okay.
Sometimes I just compromise and don't get my way.
Okay. Is it easy for you to say no?
Sometimes. It depends.
Okay. Is it, do you cry easily?
No.
What do you do when you're upset?
Typically get pretty quiet.
Do you cry in front of others?
Yes.
Would you call yourself a rule follower?
Absolutely.
How do you deal with conflict?
I think pretty well. For the most part, I try to find a common ground resolution.
In an emergency situation, what are you likely to do?
Respond positively.
Is it easy for you to ask for help?
Yes.
Is it difficult for you to accept help?
No.
How convincing are you?
I guess I'm fairly convincing.
What are you likely to do when someone tells you no?
Probably ask them why.
How do you handle negative feedback or criticism?
I try to take an honest look at it, and if it's something that that might actually be helpful and something I need to improve on, then I try to act on it in a positive manner.
Great. Okay, great. So now I'm just going to take some guesses about some of the patterns that I'm seeing and what you do really well. And so it sounds like So it sounds like you are good at like overriding with your thinking brain. Like, it sounds like you're really good at, maybe in a situation, instead of reacting, or you might even feel some reactivity, but you are able to activate that part of your brain that thinks it's rational, and that helps you to deal with situations.
That's pretty accurate.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just guessing from just these questions, so I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, some of it depends on the situation, obviously, but for the most part, yeah, that's typically how I react.
Great. So then it sounds like there are times when things are really overwhelming that you lose that ability, and that's when it's probably uncomfortable for you, like when you can't think and when your physiology kind of overrides that, and something is there's a lot of pressure or stress or something, and you can't override it, that's when it's hard for you.
Very much so.
Okay. Yeah, so my guess is that's more difficult for you, is to kind of like be with the messiness of things that maybe you're feeling.
I don't much care for it. I'd rather think it through.
Right, yeah. Yeah, and so, and you probably are also good at like, I'm completely guessing here, like beating yourself up if that happens. Like almost like blaming yourself
Yeah,
for that.
right.
All right, so then self-compassion is also, but on the other hand, I think you probably have created an ability, like you have these skills that you rely on, it sounds like, that you're good at.
Yes.
Really good at. But then when they don't work, then one of those skills may even be self-compassion that you use. But under those extreme times, it may be hard for you to access that.
It is very hard.
Great. Okay.
Sometimes impossible.
Yeah, yeah. Good. So it sounds like we have kind of an idea of the patterns that happen under stress. So my guess is that when you get close to pain, especially if it's like your physiology reacts and heart pounding and that activated limbic system that happens, that it's kind of difficult for you to change your path, or to once it tips the scale, that then it kind of gets into a spiraling of then not liking yourself for it, and then it's...
Yeah, it can. A lot of times it's going to depend on how far that scale tips. Sometimes I can pull myself back.
Okay, yeah, good. All right. So I'm wondering, because it seems like another thing you're really good at is auto-regulating. Like you're good at taking care of yourself.
Yes, I'd like to think so.
Yeah, I didn't hear anything in here except you can ask for help and you can accept help. But I'm curious about that ability when you're in that other state, like when the scales have tipped.
I haven't experienced the tipping of the scales that much, but when it has happened, it's been my wife that has been able to pull me back.
Oh, great. Okay. And so when that happened, is she reaching out to you, or are you reaching out to her?
She is reaching out to me. It's like I'm unable to reach out to her when it gets to that level.
Awesome. Nice. Okay. So then you have someone like a support system that knows you well enough that can reach out to you, and that works.
Yes.
Yeah. So, we might as well go look at these areas now. So we're going to look at some of the areas of balance for you.
Okay.
And then we're going to determine maybe what I'm curious about, and maybe have an experience of something, just to investigate some things for you.
Okay.
So it sounds like, in terms of boundaries for you, I would guess you're pretty clear about boundaries, and that you're able to give and receive easily.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And verbal expression, it probably depends on the state. It sounds like maybe a trauma response that happens, with that hyperactivation that happens. It might be difficult that you go into you become quiet, or it's harder for you to ask for help and access.
Yeah, when everything gets kicked in and into hyperdrive, it's not so much I get quiet at that point. I get quiet if I get mad. But when I get to that point, I am verbal. I just kind of perseverate on one thing and I can't seem to get off of it
Okay.
over and over.
Yeah, okay, great. So, so in terms of affect regulation, it sounds like you're good at calming yourself and you're okay with receiving, but what might be harder for you is when you really need it to reach out for help.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I would. That seems to be pretty true, I think.
Okay. And in terms of personal power, it probably also depends on if it's a trauma response or a safety issue, where or at least when you perceive that sense of not feeling safe. Most of the time, it sounds like you're very clear about choices, aware. It sounds like you have a lot of, awareness of your impact on others, and even the ability to, receive your wife's assistance when you really need it is kind of like recognizing that the effect on other people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. So you're good at that. And so, yeah, it may be harder for you to go with the flow, or to have, I wonder about that. I guess I'm curious because of the rule following thing. I wonder if you have really strong judgments about right and wrong, and if it's harder for you to be in the gray, like.
Oh, there's lots of gray.
Okay, so you're able to see gray and
Yep.
be in that, okay.
And I can be in the gray, I work with the gray.
Okay.
But I am a rule follower.
Okay, all right. And then in terms of influence, noticing what others want and good at convincing, I would say, I'm hearing both of those from you too. It's really rare that somebody has this, that there's so many things that you're both of. But I'm guessing too, in terms of safety and in terms of connection, there are different ends. So it sounds like you're good at noticing what others want when they are very close to you, and you are, in an attachment relationship, that's important to you, and you're good at that. On the other end, it sounds like if you had to, you are good at talking your way out of something, or kind of help convincing somebody of something. But it's almost, again, like that trauma response. Like that may be at a time when you feel like, I've got to get out of this situation or get us out of here, and I'm going to figure out how to do it, and I'm going to use my smarts to get there, like street smart almost.
Yeah. I think that's pretty accurate.
Okay, you can correct me because that helps too.
Yeah, no, first job out of college, I worked in a residential facility for delinquent teens, and I I learned to think on my feet pretty fast there.
Yeah.
So when I am in difficult situations and I can access the thinking part, I do pretty well.
Great. Okay. All right. So yeah, let's just go ahead with this SCARF exercise, because it's on here. It's our next boundary resource that we have here.
Okay.
And it's a way to demonstrate it. Because I'm also curious about that, like how it feels, how you experience connection and regulation. So it's kind of an exercise that can activate attachment things and bring up just, what's here about your current resources and how you have a relational experience with. Actually, it's a necktie. Would you be interested in trying?
Sure.
Something like that? All right. So we'll move the chairs out. Sandy, could you adjust the camera to make sure we're in it? All right. So we're going to do this exercise here. And, there's a whole script there, but we're just going to that's just because people want one. So we're going to just investigate what's here. And so first, let's just have you choose which one you like best.
I'm just going to do this one.
Okay, yeah. And so what tells you like that one best?
I like the red.
Ah, nice, okay. And so you know that you like red from the past, you just like it.
Mm-hmm.
And is there any experience of liking red? As you notice liking red, what happens for you?
It doesn't bring up any past experience.
Okay.
Somewhere in college, I started liking red. And I can't remember why.
Okay.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah. All right, so it's just a knowing.
Mm-hmm.
And so as you see this red tie right now, what do you notice?
I noticed that it has stripes. There's two other colors. Looks like blue and white.
Great, okay, great. And so you went ahead and took one end, and I have one end.
Yep.
And so as you notice me on the other end, and us both having an end of this tie,
Mm-hmm.
what do you notice?
I noticed I'm at the end of the tie. You are not.
Ah, okay. So you're really good at noticing like what's happening and noticing the actual thing that's happening right here,
Mhm.
outside of you. Okay. And so you're good at noticing in general things that are happening around you.
I think so.
Sounds like-
Yeah.
Great, good. And is there anything that happens inside as you notice us being here?
No, not really.
Okay. Great. And so as you notice the distance that we have here,
Mm-hmm.
how does that feel to you? Does that feel about right, or does it feel like it's a little too close or a little too far? What do you notice?
I mean, it's comfortable.
Okay.
I mean, I could probably be a little closer.
Okay. And so do you want to try that?
Sure.
And just to see? And so first of all, just noticing what tells you that it would be a little bit better if you were a little closer. Is there anything inside of you that tells you that? Or is it just outside of you? What tells you that? How do you know?
Just kind of a feeling.
Okay. So just a sense of it.
I mean, I feel comfortable here.
Yeah. Okay.
So I feel like I can, requires, I think, a little bit more trust to
Okay.
be a little closer.
Nice.
So-
Okay. Great. And so would you like to try an experiment?
Sure.
All right. So let's notice what this is like.
Okay.
And then to be closer, would it be better for you to take a step forward or for me to take a step forward?
I don't think that would matter.
Okay. And so which one would you choose?
I'll choose you.
Okay. And so whenever you're ready, I'll take a step forward and just notice if anything changes as I do that.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I'm ready.
Okay. All right.
No, I don't notice anything.
Okay. All right. So it's completely the same?
Yes.
All right. So just notice that.
Okay.
And maybe we could try again, what this is like right here, this distance. And I can step back, or you could step back, and just to see if there's any change in that.
Okay. No, it feels pretty comfortable.
Okay. All right. So notice this, how it feels comfortable. And what tells you it's comfortable? Is there anything?
I mean, I feel relaxed.
Okay.
I didn't notice any change within me when you step forward.
Okay,
So
great. So just a
it's
sense of that?
yeah, it's as if you were where you were a minute ago.
Okay. So how about if we try something like I just step back and just see if anything changes as I step back.
Okay.
All right, so notice this, what this is like.
Okay.
Okay, and are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right. Great. So no change really?
No.
All right. So how about if we try the other way? How about if you notice what this is like,
Okay.
and then you step forward and see if anything changes.
All
Would
right.
that be all right?
Sure.
And so whenever you're ready, just noticing this, what's here right now, and then as you step forward, notice if any. Step forward whenever you're ready.
Okay.
And what do you notice?
Other than that, my right foot is standing on something metal. I don't notice anything else.
Okay.
Again, this feels comfortable. for me.
Okay, great. All right, so notice that.
Mhm.
And how about if you step back and just notice if there's any change as you step back?
No.
Okay, all right. And so how about the tension of this between us? As you notice the tension or lack of tension,
Mhm.
what, as you notice this, how does this feel to you?
It feels good.
Okay. And so as you adjust it and maybe noticing how this feels good,
Mhm.
and maybe notice if we try like making the tension tighter and see if anything changes.
Okay.
All right, so just notice this, what this is like.
Okay.
And then would you like to make it tighter, or you want me to, or both of us?
I can try it.
Okay.
No, and I don't feel like anything has really changed.
Okay. Yeah. So it feels pretty much the same?
Yes.
All right. And how about anything external? Is there anything external feeling different?
No.
Okay. So just the tension here?
Just the
feel-
tension,
Okay. All right. And so maybe we can try me doing that and see if you notice anything. How about that?
Okay.
All right. So we'll loosen it up, and then whenever you're ready, let me know, and I'll increase the tension.
I'm ready.
Okay.
It feels. I can feel you pulling,
Okay.
and so I guess that's probably the biggest difference.
Okay. Great. So now you notice the feeling me pulling. Anything else change?
No.
Okay. And so how about if we try one of us letting go of our end? And so noticing the tension between us here with this,
Okay.
and then one of us letting go and seeing what changes. See if anything. And it's okay if nothing does. It's not.
Okay.
So which one would you like to do first? Have you let go or have me let go?
I can let go.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, just notice what this feels like and then let go. What do you notice?
Emptiness.
Ah, okay. So you notice a change?
Yes.
Yeah. And how do you experience that emptiness right now?
I guess I'm not really sure how to put it into words. It's like something's missing.
Okay. Yeah, so a sense of something missing and a sense of emptiness.
Yes.
Okay. And so if you were going to pick it back up, would you like me to pick it up and hand it to you, or would you like to just pick up the other end, which feels better to you?
Probably either way. I don't think it would
Okay.
matter.
All right. And so maybe we can try both just to see.
Sure.
So maybe let's try first me handing it to you.
Okay.
All right. And just notice what it's like now.
Okay.
And then what changes as I hand this to you.
So interestingly enough, I feel a little calmer.
Yeah. Great. Yeah, so noticing a calming me handing that to you.
Yes.
Great, okay. And so how about if we try it again, and this time you pick it up? Would that be all right?
Sure.
Okay, so
Right.
whenever you're ready, drop it.
Drop it.
Okay. And so then whenever you're ready, noticing this, what this is like,
Okay.
and whenever you're ready, you pick it up without me handing it. What do you notice?
I mean, I noticed the connection, but it wasn't as strong as when you handed it to me.
Nice, great, good awareness. Yeah, so it feels stronger to have me hand it to you, to reconnect like
Yes.
that, than you picking it up.
Yes.
Yeah, but you still notice the connection.
Yes.
Okay. And so one last thing you want to try?
Sure.
Just for fun?
Sure.
How about if we try me dropping my end and noticing what that's like?
Okay.
All right, so whenever you're ready, let me know and I'll drop my end.
All right. I'm ready.
Okay?
It's like, aw, she let go.
Yeah. So you
there's
notice the difference.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the connection is broken. So,
Yeah, it's kind of amazing, isn't it?
It
Just
is.
to tie what happened, what comes up.
Yep.
Yeah. And so just notice that, like that connection's broken and oh, she let go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so as I reconnect with that, which would you like to try first? You handing it to me or me picking my end up?
I'll hand it to you.
Okay. So whenever you're ready.
Yeah, it feels better.
Okay. So you notice a shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. And so, and even a smile.
Yes.
Yeah, great. Okay, so how about if we try that again, and this time I pick it up and see if that's any different, just for fun.
Sure.
Okay, so whenever you're ready, let me know and I'll drop my end.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
And so you can feel that
Yeah.
again? Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. And so whenever you're ready this time, let me know and I'll pick up my end instead of the end.
I'm ready.
Okay, and just notice whatever shifts or whatever changes.
Again, it's the same as if I had grabbed it. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
connection is there.
So it's
It
good
feels
either way
comfortable.
that time?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And when you were dropping it, it seems like me handing it to you was a little stronger.
Yes.
But when I'm dropping it, either way is good, just as long as that connection comes back and that feeling, it feels good to be connected again.
Yes.
Great. Okay, well, really nice, good job. Thank you for
Oh.
volunteering.
Oh, you're more than welcome. Thank you.
Okay.